Hello everyone, welcome back to the Looney Bin. My name is Looney, and today I want to talk to you about essentially what I think Aerith's role is going to be in part 3. I think this is a topic of discussion that has many people in the Final Fantasy VII community divided exactly how Aerith's role will play out. And I think mostly it comes from whether or not this is going to be following the original and the rest of the story of Final Fantasy VII, or will the devs actually do something strange, weird, and maybe change a lot of the things. I personally think that the devs are going through the original story. They're just adding additions, subtracting some stuff, changing things around. So this essentially, my opinion, essentially is going to revolve around the idea that the original story will continue playing forward with part 3, and that Aerith is dead, right? And from the original story, we never see her again until the final moments when she acts, or what looks like she commands the live stream to go and save the planet from Meteor, right? So, what do I think Aerith's role in part 3 is going to be? I think for the most part, just like how Zack's side story or part of the story is in Rebirth, Aerith is going to play a similar role. However, I do think her story, her side story, or whatever you want to call it, is going to lead to more prominent things occurring with the main party. So while she won't be necessarily in the main party, her actions in those side story will lead to certain things happening in the main story of Final Fantasy VII. And I do not think that means that they're going to change some things, but certain things that do happen in the story of Final Fantasy VII, her actions in the live stream will lead to those, right? I do not think they're going to change the major plot points at all. It's just whatever she does in the live stream, it will somehow lead to the actual major story beats panning out in the main story, right? I don't necessarily personally know, what those major story beats will be. But I think for the most part, I think you can do certain things. You could play around, and I think that's what they can do. You can definitely play around and are open to doing a lot of things with Aerith in the live stream. But I think the main point of Aerith, traversing into the live stream is not only learning about the live stream and her, role as a Cetra, but slowly begin to learn to tune with the live stream, which then leads to that final sequence where the live stream goes and stops Meteor, right? Based on what we see in the original, it does look like Aerith in some form of way commands the live stream or asks the live stream to go and stop Meteor. So throughout the entire portion of Final Fantasy VII Part 3, her journey through the live stream will lead to that final moment. We'll learn about more of maybe the live stream, maybe more of her, history as a Cetra or half Cetra, right? And all of this knowledge, everything that she goes through, all of that is going to lead to that, right? And I think it's perfect for her. One of the things with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth that I wasn't too thrilled about, or I guess you could say critiqued about, was that Aerith didn't really go and learn more about her role as a Cetra, or how to get her in tune with the live stream until the final chapters. I thought that as you progress through the story, she will start to learn more, and you could have done that with the live stream springs, and each time you do one as a side quest, she learns a little bit more knowledge, or has a little bit more control, or becomes more in tune with the live stream. But that did not happen until the final last 2 chapters, where they go to the temple and so on. But I think her traversing through the live stream and connecting with it is going to be a perfect way to allow her role to be important in Final Fantasy VII Part 3, right? Her actions in the live stream will help the main cast in many different ways, and it could definitely help lead to certain story beats actually becoming true, or continuing and being as original as, or as close to original as the original OG story beats, right? And one of the other big things that could happen, and I think will happen, is her reunion with Zack. I think maybe her goal, or what she wants to do with the life stream is maybe find Zack initially. But as she's traversing through the life stream, she starts to learn more about it while searching for Zack until that moment where they finally get that reunion. I don't know how that reunion will occur, but I do think that eventually they will reunite, share their moment. We'll figure out more about the whole thing with Zack and Aerith's relationship, with the whole Marlene stuff. We'll find out, and everything will be straightened out in regards to that dialogue and all that stuff. And Aerith will tell Zack about what her true feelings are, and they reunite, they hug, maybe kiss, who knows. But I think their reunion will happen in the live stream, and part of that will have her also connect with the live stream, and all of this journey through the live stream will be a perfect way to capitalize on her role in part 3, while also making her role huge, while also connecting it back to the main cast. I do not think one of the moments will be her helping out Cloud in the live stream. I think that's going to safely just be about Tifa and Cloud. What you can do, and this is just an idea that I have thought of before, is that Sephiroth is in the live stream, right? We know this. We see that during the Gungaga sequence where he tries to strike Tifa and does strike the baby weapon. He's in the live stream in some form of way, and Aerith could have this continuous battle with Sephiroth for control of the live stream. I think that's definitely something that you could also add to part of her story. But one thing that they could do while Tifa is in Cloud's subconscious mind to try to find his identity, you could have Aerith and maybe even Zack. Maybe this is after they reunite, where they hold off Sephiroth. Maybe not where Tifa and Cloud is, but somewhere else in the live stream, because he tries to get to them and stop Tifa before she does anything. You could have something like that, where they essentially stop Sephiroth from going there. That's a perfect way to have her, her role be at least somewhat connected to the main story, right? Maybe other things as well. And I think this is the perfect way for Aerith to really have this major role. Now, I do also think another big part of Aerith, not only traversing through the live stream, getting to know about the live stream, connect with it, bond with it, is, of course, continuously battling Sephiroth in the live stream. I think in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, when we see the black and white whispers, I think this is essentially going to represent that conflict, right? We see it first as the whispers, but as we go through part 3, we see that even more, where Aerith tries to stop Sephiroth tries to, maybe prevent Aerith from doing something like that, and you could have constant battles like that, right? I know some people have wanted to know how they're going to incorporate Ultima, like will Aerith eventually join the party again and have her ultimate weapon with her? I personally think the perfect way to give her ultimate weapon is finally be able to be in tune with the live stream, and that's how she gains it in literally the final moments, the final battles that she may have with Sephiroth. We see in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth how Zack did face Sephiroth, and then you had Aerith face Sephiroth with Cloud, right? This will be the perfect time to finally get a combo, a dual fight between Aerith and Zack. This will be the perfect time for her to have her ultimate weapon as well. So you also could add those things in the final battle against Sephiroth. As Cloud and Co are fighting Sephiroth in the actual world in Gaia, you then have him go off to maybe the live stream, kind of like how Final Fantasy VII Rebirth did, and that's where you have Zack and Aerith waiting there to fight Sephiroth. Similar in Rebirth, how Zack fought Sephiroth as well. You could have all of this. You could have Aerith play this huge role. I just do not think she's going to have a big role in what the main party is doing. She may lead them certain things, or make certain things happen within the live stream that affects the real world. But other than that, you won't probably see her team up with the rest of the group. And I think based on what we saw with Aerith and Cloud fighting off against Sephiroth, I think that was the last moment, and they want to give you this moment where it's going to be the last time you're able to team up with Cloud as Aerith. So that allows you to it allowed you to experience that final moments with Aerith and Cloud, and then that's it. And considering how in the original story we do not have any sort of connection, reference, or not reference, but like any sort of like visible sequence with Aerith for the remainder of the story after she dies, this will be the perfect way to at least give her a major role in the story and continue the story of Final Fantasy VII remake project. So that's what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next Final Fantasy VII video. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time.